Usually Rockstar's in at 9:30 in the morning, but Mr. Weisenthal has greeted us this morning on this important story. I just got all flamed up. Somebody called it a currency. I said, no way, there's no way this is a currency. Our article even says it's going to be based off securities. Is it a currency?
It's currency-ish.
Ish.
Yeah.
Jamie Dimon doesn't care about ish. Jerome Powell and Randy Quarles at the Fed don't care about ish. Why is Zuckerberg different from anybody else that's gone down in flames?
There is going to be a thing called Libra. Presumably, you will have a wallet that has an X number of Libra in it. So in that sense, that's why I say it's currency-ish. On the other hand, it's backed by traditional financial assets, probably real fiat currencies and government bonds and banks. And if you think about it, if you look at any wallet that we use that's digital or any credit card or anything, what is it but a digital number that's represented by something?
Bruno Le Maire is out today, the French finance minister, saying, yeah, right. I'm in name the country. I've got $582,000. I got to get in the United States. This sounds like a gift from God.
I think that, this is the key thing, which is that traditional cryptocurrencies, they're designed to be decentralized, permissionless, so that I can send something to you.
They're designed as an agent for criminals.
I just put it the nice way, but you put it this is clearly
this
not.
Is morning TV. We're not nice.
This is not designed for that, and they make very clear in the white paper and their documents that anyone dealing with this, any exchanges that listed wallets, have to deal with traditional banking regulations, which means that it's much less like a traditional cryptocurrency as we know them, and much more like a lot of the payment apps that we use already.
Let's bring in the nice one, Francine Lacroix.
Yes.
No, the nice one who's in the doghouse, Joe, because I'm the one calling it cryptocurrency on air, and Tom was like, no, it's not a currency. But actually what it means is that by 2020, I'm going to have a mobile phone, and I'll be able to use a payment system. So for the nerds out there, we can call it whatever, the digital wallet package that Facebook is going to introduce, whatever Tom wants. But is it going to get traction, and when can you find out whether there's going to be traction? Is it the first 2 months, 6 months? Does it take longer?
I mean, here's the thing, and this is the bold case, which is that there is no entity in the entire world that has Facebook size and global distribution. And that is an enormous leg up. And so you have these payment networks all around the world, like M-Pesa or WeChat or Venmo or PayPal or whatever. It's fragmented, however. There's just no entity that exists that is huge virtually everywhere, essentially everywhere outside of China, the way that Facebook is. So if you were able to layer on top of that a payment network, in theory, that could be really big and unify global payments in a way that nothing else quite has before. That would be, I would say, the bulk.
Right, so is this a medium for payments, right? And if it is a medium for payments, does it cut out the riffraff that Tom was talking about?
I mean, it is a medium for payments. It will attempt to cut out the riffraff because there's money backed up by traditional financial institutions. Because a Libra is backed up by dollars and pounds and euros and yen or whatever in a bank, they're going to have to comply with traditional anti-money laundering regulations, anti-capital control or capital control regulations. If it were to turn out that people could use Libra to evade these things, then I think regulators would attempt to shut down the project pretty quickly.
We have conversations with various representatives of China. I believe that will all work out very well for everybody, China, Japan, the United States, and everybody in the region. As far as the currency devaluations, I've been complaining about that for a long time. And I believe that we will all eventually, and probably very much sooner than a lot of people understand or think, we will be all at a level playing field. Because that's the only way it's fair. That's the only way that you can fairly compete in trade and other things. And we will be on that field, and we will all be working very hard to do great for our country. But it has to be fair, and we will make it fair. I think the United States is going to be an even bigger player than it is right now by a lot when it comes to trade. A lot of that will have to do with our tax policy, which you'll be seeing in the not too distant future.
President of the United States to use this disaster to carry out a new world order.
The whole agenda is to create a one-world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. So instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, you can just turn off your chip. And you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do, what
Everything.
you sell.
Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one-world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips, and they control people, and you become a slave, you become a servant to these people. That's their goal, that's their intention.
New World Order is the headline in the Globe and Mail in Canada. Is this global governance at last? Is it one world? The central bankers in charge. But aren't we all just living and dying for what the central banks do?
Of course we are. We are absolutely slaves to central banks.
And I strongly believe India will be a central actor in the new world order.
Because when you take the mark, you join to him. He will be able to put his thoughts into your mind. He will be able to control you, and he will have knowledge of everything about you.
says it's about to become the first in the U.S. to offer microchip implants to its employees. You heard that right. Microchip implants under the skin. Josh Rosenthal joins us live from just up the hall to explain this. He's in the building with us right now. Josh, what's this all about?
That's right. So, Lindsay, just outside of the studio here, we've got a few of these vending machines. Now, we all know how these work, right? You walk up, you put your dollar in, you get your bag of chips. Well, as I learned today, these machines are quickly becoming very old-fashioned, and in fact, just how old-fashioned may surprise you. At 3 Square Market in River Falls, a team of programmers designed software for break room markets, like this one. Believe it or not, this is the reason they're about to do this to more than 50 of their employees.
It's the next thing that's inevitably going to happen, and we want to be a part of it.
The concept is pretty simple. Just like how you can buy something nowadays using your phone, what if you could use a microchip inside your hand instead? Todd, you're going to show us how this could potentially work.
Yes, basically what this is considered is a break room market in an office complex. We'll come up, scan the item, we'll hit pay with credit card, and it's asking to swipe my proximity payment now. I'll hold my hand up, just like the cell phone, and it will pay for my product.
Instead of a credit card,
correct,
hand.
Because my microchip is now my credit card.
More than 53 Square Market employees are having them implanted starting next week. Not only can they buy stuff with them, they'll also be able to use the chips to get in the front door and log on to their computers. Each chip costs $300. The company's picking up the tab. The chip goes between your thumb and forefinger, and CEO Todd Westby says the data is both encrypted and secure. So if I'm one of your employees and I've got this chip in my hand, you won't know, hey, Josh is slacking off. I can tell because I'm reading this chip.
No, there's no GPS tracking at all.
Employees here aren't required to get the chip. One of the ones choosing to do so, however, just so happens to be former North Star player and current Edina hockey coach, Kurt Giles. If somebody told you back in the day when you're flying around the ice playing for the North Stars that you're going to have a chip implanted in your hand, you're going to use it to pay for stuff, you're going to use it to get in and out of buildings, what would you have told that person?
I probably would have thought a chip tooth or a chip of ice, but not a chip that has the technology that we're talking about today.
Okay, now, in case you're wondering, Lindsay, each one of these chips, it's about the size of a single grain of rice. It's tiny, just one little grain of rice. And now, get this, if you get one of these implanted into your hand and you want to get rid of it, you know how you do that? For real? They tell me you just pop it out.
It's almost hard to believe. Did they offer you one?
They did. They very much wanted me to come back next week when they're putting them in employees and get one. Still not sold, but I'm a little closer to being sold than I was when I walked in.
Faster from the vending machine.
Sure would.
All right, now we need to upgrade the vending machines.
Yeah, really.
All right, thank you, Josh. Sure. All right, this may be the first time a U.S. company is using the technology, but it's already being used in Europe. A company in Sweden offered more than 100 employees the opportunity to get those microchips earlier this year. The company Epicenter Stockholm says phone and internet browsing history poses more of a threat than the chip.
That this is a mark of the beast. Simple. 666, which is 666. That means mark of the beast, as Bible says in the Revelation. We will go a little deeper in that extra. Guess what? I'm going to tell you the same thing. Yes, it is the mark of the beast. But in this time, I'm going to give you a little further information, with the depth information, why it is the mark of the beast. Something different. We understand the microchip has been released, and as soon as it's released in US and become really famous and everyone talking about it, yes, of course. The thing is, as soon as I heard this message, I started to do some research in a sense, where this microchip coming from and who produced it, who manufactured it. And I come to understanding that was manufactured by the company called Biohacks. And we will come to that a little deeper later too. But when you go to that company website, and it's called Biohacks International. It's a company. It's based in Sweden. Okay, and including the logo means something. They, out of nowhere, they have named this microchip the NFC tag NTAG 216216. What that to do with this? What I'm trying to say? Simply, let's cut it quicker. 216. Think about it. 6 times 6, 36. 36 times 6, 216. Oh, coincident, eh? Do you think that's coincident? No. As a mark of the beast, they're trying to tell us, hey, this is the mark of the beast. Revelation 13:18. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the numbers, number of the beast? For the number is that of a man, and his number is 666.
You know, it's an interesting thing about God is omnipresent, omnipotent, He is everywhere. But what's the Antichrist got to do? He's got to use every bit of technology he can to keep track of you and I. And so he's going to use everything he can, and that's the reason why I believe we've come to this. It's not an easy message, it's a hard message to go out and give, but I want to tell you something, folks. God is on the throne, and we win. And if you'll check the tomb, it is empty. And we need to be excited about that. We're living in the most exciting time we could ever live in. The reason why you're pulled together as a body of Christ is to be with one another, to support one another, to lift one another up. I had people ask me this morning, well, what should we do? When's this going to happen? I tell them, you know, the when doesn't make any difference. If you don't know the who, you're in trouble already.